I am using the Grateful Thankful Bless mesh stencil from a maker studio. This one measures 5.5 by 8.5 inches, and it comes with 2 different designs. Now all these can be found on our webpage at chalkitupfancy.com. Now I have this scrap leather that if you go to Hobby Lobby in the leather section, they have a bag of scrap leather, and you just get a variety of different sizes. Now I'm just using this napkin holder just so I have a square to trace around, and I'm going to use a chalk marker that I found from the Dollar Tree to trace that onto the leather. Now I'm going to take the Thankful, Grateful, Blessed, and I'm going to use that in the center of the black piece of leather that I have here. And I'm just going to make sure that it's pretty even. Now these mesh stencils are reusable if you wash them and take care of them properly. Then we have a variety of products you can use with the mesh stencils. I'm going to use the gel art ink in the white, which is called Well I Declare. And we're using our silicone spread pals to apply it. We also have plastic ones. And once you have your mesh stencil placed on the leather, you have to hold it down or put some painter's tape, as it really does not adhere well to the leather. But as long as you hold it in place, I had no problem applying the image. So we're going to take the gel art ink on our silicone spread pal, and you're going to apply a good amount and press so that it goes through the mesh screen and onto your surface. And once you feel like you have good coverage, you're going to lift it up. I really like how this came out on the leather. There's no bleeding. These mesh stencils are really great for anybody who struggles with that as well. Now I took a second piece of brown leather, and I'm going to trace a rectangle piece of wood that I had, and I'm going to place in the center of that the piece that said Always Grateful. And once you lay it down, again, it doesn't really adhere that well to the leather, but I'm just going to place it where I want it, rub on top, and then I'm going to place some painter's tape around the edges. This will give me room to kind of move and not really get onto the leather. And we're applying the gel art ink with the silicone spread pal, and then you just lift it. And it's so easy and fun to work with these mesh stencils. We have a variety of different mesh stencils on our webpage. Now I'm going to do one last design on one more piece of leather, and I'm tracing a square again. Now this was an insert to a picture frame, and I'm going to be using the pumpkin with this really pretty design throughout it. Now I found it was easiest to place the painter's tape around the mesh stencil. It kind of helped adhere it better, but then also I didn't have to worry about getting anything onto the leather. Also, when you're all finished with the mesh stencil, you want to make sure that you wash them right away. You want to make sure you get all of this gel ink off of it and clean the screen really well, and then you're going to allow it to dry, and they are reusable. So I did get a little on the leather, and it came right up with a baby wipe, so it does wipe up easily before it dries. And then for this pumpkin one, I'm going to just cut it on the traced edge with a regular pair of scissors. And then I'll set that one aside. I took the brown one that says Always Grateful, and I used my pinking shears to just give it a nice finished edge. And this is what we have so far. I have 2 of these picture frames that I had found at Hobby Lobby. In the clearance section, you always want to keep your eye open in the clearance section for any really nice picture frames. And I'm just going to remove the insert to this one. And I'm going to take the Thankful, Grateful, Blessed, and I'm going to retrace the insert onto this piece of leather. Originally, I was not sure what I was going to do with it, so I just have to make that square just a little smaller so that it will fit inside the picture frame. So on this one, I'm just going to use a regular pair of scissors as it's going inside the frame. And here we have one. And I just love how this leather project turned out so far. I'm going to put the pumpkin one in the back of the second picture frame as well. And I'm just loving the black and white themed decor. Now for the third one, I'm going to give another option. If you do not want to use a picture frame, I have this unfinished wood plaque and these half wood beads, and I'm going to paint all of them using the Wise Owl Snow Owl paint. Now these wood plaques you can get right from Hobby Lobby or Michael's. And then I'm going to allow all of that to fully dry. Once it's dry, I'm going to take my brown Always Grateful piece of leather and I'm going to center it onto the board. I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue into each corner of the leather to adhere it to my board. And then I'm going to take the half wood beads and attach that into each corner as well, so that it looks like it is pinned to the piece of wood. And then I'm going to dry brush some black Wise Owl paint onto the half wood beads. And then you can add a hanger onto the back of that. And there you go. Now you have these 3 really great fall decor projects using the Thankful, Grateful, Bless mesh stencil. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Paint products, tissue paper, transfers, and mesh stencils can all be found on our webpage at chalkitupfancy.com. And don't forget, you can also check out other tutorials on our webpage as well. Have a great day.